He's Omar, I'm Majid, we're the substitutes, and today, hate it or love it, the underdogs on top. Denmark shocked Europe and the world in 1992. Greece did the same in 2004. Omar, let's get into it. Which one was more impressive?
Hey Majid, just off the bat, just one thing. I'm going to say I think both are impressive in their own right, but we're asking which one's more impressive. And if you look at the context of the whole story, I just prefer Denmark. They weren't even meant to be in the tournament. They were called up because Yugoslavia were kicked out, and they had no prep time. They were playing friendlies, but they had only 1 week to prepare that they were going to play in a big tournament. They played against incredible opposition. They knocked out the pre-tournament favorites, and some of this opposition played with so much arrogance, by the way. Platini looked at Schmeichel, take it easy on us, we have a semi-final tomorrow. They responded and beat them 2-1. In the final against West Germany, who are World Cup winners, Stefan Effenberg called Brian Laudrup. Let's change shirt afterwards, and Laudrup said he kind of heard it in his voice where it's a formality. They beat them 2-0. Just the whole story of this Denmark team, they shouldn't even have been there. They were minnows, and they won it all. And on top of that, they played counter-attacking football, and they lit up the tournament. They played really good football.
That's fair, but when you mention Germany, for example, this was a German team because of the political situation. This was their first East Germany, West Germany were together post-reunification, right? So they weren't necessarily the Germany from the World Cup that had won the World Cup a couple years before,
yeah,
right?
fair, but they were good enough that they reached the final. They went through qualifying, they reached the final, and they still had like star players like Effenberg. And the opposition-wise, like I mentioned, England, fine, they were without Gascoigne, but they still had players like Gary Lineker. France had Platini. Like, they didn't beat anyone. They were worthy winners, really. They beat everyone who came in front of them.
Well, like, the other thing is, in that tournament, there were only 8 teams. And Denmark only had to play 5 games. 3 in the group, 1 semi, and 1 final.
Quality over quantity, my friend. Just because they're creating a Super League right now doesn't mean, and bringing in more teams, doesn't mean that the old Champions League format doesn't work. That's all I'm going to say. Quality over quantity.
The other thing is, fair enough, the other thing is, it took place in Sweden. Euro 92 was in Sweden. That's almost home for Denmark. Do you know what I mean? They're not playing away.
Okay, I know where you're
It's
going.
like...
I know where you're going. Okay, like, look, fine. I'm gonna, they had some star players, okay? But they didn't have all of their star players. Michael Laudrup quit before the tournament. His brother Brian came back in. Henrik Andersen got injured against the Netherlands in the semi-final. It was a horrific injury. And one of their forwards or attacking midfielders, Vilfort, his daughter had leukemia. And they sent him to the tournament, and her condition deteriorated. She came back. He came back to be with her during the France game. Denmark won. They came back. He played a key role in the semi-final, and he scored the winning goal in the final. Whatever you say about Denmark, like they were tough opposition. The story was there for them, and their players had the right mentality. Like, it's impressive. That's all I'm saying. Like, I find it more impressive than Greece. And
no doubt.
I know that's where you're going. But...
Denmark is impressive. Denmark is impressive, but let me show you why Greece is more impressive, bro. Greece had only qualified in 2 tournaments before that. They had never won a single game. Forget the tournament. They had not won a single game. They were happy. That first opening game against Portugal, they were happy just being there.
And in the hometown. I know that's where you're going. In the host nation.
And Greece was 80-1 odds. I think Denmark was a little bit better, 22-1 or 30-1.
Just because it was a smaller tournament, let's forget the odds in this one, all right? Like,
well, let's go to the tactics. I mean, in terms like the Greek 2004 was Jose's dream tactics. It's where strategy and tactics both came together. They knew what they wanted to do, and they knew how they were going to get there too. They didn't have a single name player, really, even though the player of the tournament was Zagorakis, and Nikopolidis, who was their goalie, was rock solid. but they didn't have a star, one-star man. It was a star team. Like, the team was built to win. You know what I'm saying? And I find that very impressive, personally. The other thing is, this Greek team, they beat Portugal twice, who were the hosts, and they were the hosts who had a golden generation. Figo, Manish, a lot of dudes were there. They also had to beat Spain and Russia in their group, and then they beat France, Czech Republic, and again Portugal in the final. They took on like everybody who they had to.
Look, I'm not disputing that. I thought Greece. I watched that tournament. Greece were impressive that they got there, but man, were they so bored. Like, I remember Croatia was one of the stars of the tournament. Everyone was just like, Croatia, amazing team. Nedved, it had Milan Baros.
Czech Republic.
But they only scored 2 goals against Portugal in the opening game. The rest was just like either like headed goals and defend for your life, or a corner and defend for your life. No matter what, it was just defend for your life. And I got that, right? Like, no star players, like you mentioned, but man, was I bored. And come on, the silver goal against Czech Republic.
Well, and Yugoslavia for Denmark was whatever, right? Let's ignore the qualification part for them. It's also, I will give you, the Greek win was one of the most boring, and there was a lot of talk after the fact. But we're not looking at that. You win. True. You get to hold the trophy at the end. That's all that matters. The style of play, I would argue Jose will look at that. Jose Mourinho will look at that and say, beautiful, beautiful football. This is football.
Man, look, again, it's winning football, and you're touching a nerve with Jose Mourinho there, right? Like, it's winning football, but my God, like, you kind of lose the ability to get it up for life. Like, afterwards, that's it, man. Like,
1.17 goals per game. Yeah, that was their average. Yes,
and 2 goals against. Look, it's impressive they beat the hosts. I will always say that. And the silver goal, fine, you're right. Denmark shouldn't have been in the tournament. Do remember something good kind of came out of both tournaments, right? The silver goal was eliminated after that, and so was the back pass. Like, do you remember in the 92 tournament, like, they just passed it back to Denmark, Schmeichel picked it up. Like, at least some good things came out.
Well done, yes, absolutely. So now, they're both impressive. We clearly have different views on the matter. Let's do a very theoretical thing. If they were to go meet head to head, Denmark 92 versus Greece 04, who do you think would win?
Man, I'm gonna go for Denmark, just simply because they would have the back pass rule, and they'd have the back pass rule, man. They would totally exploit it, and they had Schmeichel. Like, good luck getting past him.
That's where I actually agree on this point. I would also go with Denmark. I would also go because of Pete Schmeichel, the one man. And I think Denmark had a couple more natural goal scorers versus the Greeks, which were more set piece or corners. You know what I mean by that? Organized
But you know what? Again, both so impressive in their own right. Like, amazing stories.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brilliant stories. This is why we watch football, not just to see the Messis and the Ronaldos. It's to see the little guy win so that we also get some hope. Think about that, European Super League people. With that, you guys, comment, like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. Tell us, what do you think? Denmark 92, Greece 04, which one was more impressive? And head to head, if they went, who do you think would come out on top? Another edition of The Substitutes done. Peace out.